And we are back let me see. I keep wanting to say day one of the Dallas International Film. Day two.
It's already a blur.
First, number one, first full day.
Awesome.
Dallas International Film Festival here with Thomas Ward of International Falls. Mm-hmm. Thank you for taking some time, coming to the festival to meet the audiences and everything. It's great of you to do that.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's an honor to be here. Absolutely.
Okay, so where are you coming in from?
I'm actually from Dallas.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm based in Dallas. I've been here. I've been here on and off for like 10 years, working mostly in the theater scene and writing plays. And International Falls was a play that I wrote, and my wife and I originated the roles, and we premiered it in Dallas. So the fact that it's screening here is a thrill.
Okay, so this was a two-person play to begin with, right? Okay, so I'm really curious. Well, first let's do, for the folks at home that can't make it to the festival, let's give them a really quick, spoiler-free synopsis so they know what we're talking about.
Okay, it is called International Falls, which is the name of the town that it's set. It's a tiny, real town at the very north top of Minnesota, and it's about a woman who works in a hotel as a desk clerk, and she has dreams of being a stand-up comic. And the bar in the hotel where she works has stand-up comedians come in, and she meets one of them just on his little tour through the country, and they have kind of a 2-day comedy boot camp together.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so starting out as a play, let's start there. I read a book recently by a woman who's a TV writer now, but she started in theater as well. And her roommate was her creative partner, and they just started by, it started with a game, really. This hit play that they ended up having off Broadway just started with them, kind of riffing, just goofy little games that they would play with each other that eventually grew into characters that they were able to do something with.
Yeah.
So how did you guys begin?
Well, there was a lot. When I wrote the play, there was a lot, and I have to give so much credit to my wife because she is a real, I'm personally very proud of this character. Her character's name is Dee. I'm personally very proud of her, but I've had so much help from a lot of women, and my wife is one of them. And she, so we did a lot of riffing together on jokes because one of my favorite things about the movie and that I wanted in there was to see comedians doing that. So
the workshop,
yeah. And it's like such an important part of what they do, and we don't think it doesn't look like work. It just looks like goofing around, but it's like that's the lab. That's where they go to work out their experiments. So no, I had tons of back and forth with my wife, and there's even a section in the movie where there's a large chunk of jokes, especially that she wrote herself. So she deserves a lot of credit.
I think we have this conception of the stand-up comic is just like the class clown type guy, and of course they can jump up on stage and have all kinds of witty things to say. That's not how it actually happens.
Absolutely, and I was inspired too at the time that I wrote it, that I was fascinated with this realization that I was having, that there are a lot of funny people who are deeply sad, and we see it with celebrities, we see it at every level, and I wanted to kind of meditate on that and just explore that and see how funny it could remain even through the darkness, even through that sadness. And that's so that was the kind of the tightrope that we were walking with it.
Okay, so how do you take, you did the screenplay as well after the play, but it was a two-person, it was just a two-role play, if I'm thinking correctly. So how do you convert that, this is another conception that we have, that must be the easiest screenplay to write in the world. You just throw the play in there and it translates.
It was tough. It was the first time I had done that with one of my plays, and the hardest part about it was realizing that all these precious words that I had written, because the play is about the words, all these precious words, a lot of them had to go. A lot of them just had to go because more could be done visually and more needed to be done visually. So it was really a process where it just went in stages where it's still basically the first draft just felt like I changed the margins on the page.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was just a long time
Copy,
of
paste.
people talking in a hotel room.
Final draft.
Yeah, it was just the play on camera, which would actually be kind of boring, I think. So then I had help, and really what set it free for me was point of view. The play is very much about both characters, and when I was trying to do that with the screenplay, I was just getting stuck for whatever reason. And with Amber's help, the director, she helped me see that we needed to see this story through Dee's eyes, through her point of view. And once I surrendered to that, because that was kind of tough, because I had written.
You have an idea.
Yeah, I had this idea, and I'd also written it for me and my wife to play.
Yeah, and it's more than idea. It's a proven concept that is working.
Exactly. Well said. Yeah, and I surrendered to that, and it was amazing. And once that happened, it was like, and so it was a huge learning opportunity for me, really about point of view and who we're seeing the story through, the eyes that we're seeing it through, and that's one thing I'm really proud of in the adaptation, because they're very different. All
right, so tell me a little bit about Amber. So am I correct in thinking you sought her out to come and direct this project, or did she come to you?
We actually sought each other out. We had worked together. We were. She was in grad school at the college where I was working at the time, so we met each other.
We can say the name, I guess. We can say the name of the school.
It was Baylor. I know, not a fan. It's okay.
Whatever. We're just kidding. Everyone's great.
Sikkim, I guess. But we met there, and then she hired me. We worked together on an industrial together that she directed and I acted in. And through that process, we were just talking about, like, we got to work together. Work together. And she had read the play, I believe. And then it was through that we just started talking about, let's see what we can do, with this script.
Yeah.
And so then she got it done. She didn't give up on me when I was getting frustrated. She kept my work going, and then she faced, through the production, the whole process, she faced every obstacle you can imagine.
Yeah.
And overcame it. And
did you shoot it in Minnesota?
Yeah, they shot,
man.
and I didn't get to go. I because of I was a teacher at the time. I couldn't get away, and they shot in International Falls.
Wow.
And so there was a lot that had to be rewritten because the weather wasn't cooperating and stuff like that. And so they shot all the exteriors in Minnesota, and then they shot a lot of the interiors in LA.
Sure.
So and it all. And the whole time I was following it on Instagram, for God's sake, you know what I mean? And she was
makes you feel special, that personal touch.
And she was checking in with me on anything script related, which was wonderful. But it was, so I still haven't met the actors,
Oh, wow.
I know, isn't that crazy? I'm like, is that normal? I don't know.
Okay,
so it's exciting.
I mean, how high did the level of trust need to be for you, who, like I said, more than the screenwriter, the creator, the playwright, to hand this over to someone when you couldn't even be there to see it happen? It was
like such a healthy experience for me. I really mean that, because and I have to say, I was never stressed out about choices that were being made about anything. And like I say, Amber checked in with me on stuff, especially if it involved a dialogue change and that kind of thing. And so because of that, the trust was all there. I wasn't worried about the ending changing or anything. I knew it was in good hands, and we had, and I knew she got it. She got what I was going for in the tonally, because tonally it's a pretty tricky, a pretty tricky story, I think, and she nailed it, and I was never, it wasn't a. The only frustration I felt was that I wanted to be there.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And so, but as far as worrying about the choices that were being made, it was just a real zen kind of.
That's awesome.
Just, it's in good hands. Yeah.
That's
I'm very
nice.
lucky.
That is
very lucky.
Really a blessing.
Absolutely.
I love the symbolism of the name of the town, the International being right on the cusp between two giants, if you will, and maybe not fully present in either place. And I was kind of like, I see you, Thomas.
I love it.
What are you doing?
I love it. Absolutely. It is kind of a gray no man's land that these characters are in at this point in their lives. So that's, the setting felt perfect for that, for where they are.
Well, I know that you've got a lot that you have to do today, but I just want to say I think it's really cool. I don't know if you've noticed, but looking over like the kind of the group of films, we have this. The theater really has a presence this year. We have so many films that either the theater is a location or kind of a character, or the characters are practitioners of theater, or has a direct connection coming from theater. It's nice for me. See, I started as a theater major and then switched over to film school, so it's just nice for me to see them kind of leaning on each other like that.
I totally
makes me happy.
Agree. Yeah, me too. For sure. I just believe a great story needs to be told, and a great story, and what I've learned is a great story can be told in either medium, I believe. You know,
absolutely.
It's just an awareness of what's required and what has to, where the focus has to be in the storytelling. So I'm thrilled to hear that. That's great. Yeah. All
right. So before we go, where can they kind of catch up with you guys on social media or online to find out more about the film and where they can see it?
Absolutely. InternationalFallsMovie.com is our website, and you can find the trailer there. And Outskirt Media. Is Amber's production company, and you can follow Outskirt Media on all the social places. And look for me. I'm on Twitter and Instagram, and my username is Wardtho, Wardtho.
Wardtho.
So I would love. I know.
Thomas Wardtho.
I'm keeping it.
I'm
keeping it.
I approve.
Gmail gave it to me. I'm keeping it. So yeah, I'd love for some people to say hello. That'd be great.
Awesome. Well, Thomas, again, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, my pleasure.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. I'm so pumped.
Yeah, hope to see you back again.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.